And joining us now is weatherbell.com's chief forecaster, Joe Bastardi. Joe, what data are you seeing on how the lockdown is affecting the Earth?
Well, it's certainly stopping true pollution. Nitrous oxide is You can't, life doesn't, let's say, when you exhale 100 times more CO2 than you inhale. Trees take that in and make oxygen. What we aren't seeing is the slowdown of the CO2 increase. There is no stopping the CO2 increase. It is increasing at the usual rate it does at this time of the year because we don't have trees out now, right? So we're not changing the carbon dioxide to oxygen, right? And so this means that there must be another source for that, and it's most likely the very warm oceans, Mark, because the oceans are the biggest storage of carbon dioxide, and when they warm, they release it into the atmosphere. It's no different than you opening a can of Coca-Cola and letting it sit there for a while, and then the fizz comes out of it because the carbon dioxide's going into the air. Let me just say something about the sea surface temperatures. Hurricane Alley is as warm as I've ever seen it at this time of the year. My company put out a forecast on March 10th saying this was going to be a huge hurricane season, and I see no reason to back off from that. But that, again, is because of the cyclical nature of the ocean. So it may be the oceans that are responsible for CO2 increase.
Joe, will the positive effects to the environment result in shifts or changes to weather patterns?
Well, I don't think that what we're seeing there is having much to do with it. Here in the United States, you know, the most profitable countries in the world have cleaned their air up the most. We have much cleaner air than we did on the first Earth Day back in the early 70s. And when you take a lot of sulfur dioxide and some of these other particles out of the air, there's more incoming solar radiation, and especially in the dry areas of the Southwest, it results in it heating up even more. So there's always back and forth, Mark. For every step you take, you leave a track. So you have to try to balance risk and reward.
On another note, parts of the U.S. suffered extreme weather earlier this week, and more could be on the way. What's the forecast for the next few days, Joe?
Well, we've got a big outbreak. I don't think it's as big as the one on Easter Sunday. That was a monster, 174 tornadoes. The recent outbreak only had 8 or 9 with them. We had some severe weather in the east now, but this area coming through this afternoon into tomorrow and coming right across the southeast yet again. And that's, folks, is because it's so cold in this pattern across the United States, and the Gulf is so warm. The natural clash zone is from East Texas toward the Carolinas. Same kind of thing is likely to happen over the next 24 to 48 hours.
And are we going to see that change anytime soon, the cold clashing with the heat?
Well, I don't think so. It looks like there may be a variance of it coming down the road. You've got to get out of this pattern. But what's interesting is, if you remember, it was cold in November, and then the end of the cold season, it came back again. It is indicative of a big shift in the Pacific Ocean, in the signaling mechanisms in the Pacific Ocean, that's liable to impact both the summer and the hurricane season.
All right, Weather Bell chief forecaster Joe Bastardi, thank you so much, Joe, for your time and your insights.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.